1. Laws of motion. Motion of an object. Can you tell? In which of the following examples can you sense motion? How will you explain presence and absence of motion? 1. The flight of a bird. 2. A stationary train. 3. Leaves flying through air. 4. A stone lying on a hill. In the above examples, the objects that move from one place to another indicates that they are in motion. Thus, the flight of bird and leaves flying through air show presence of motion, while a stationary train and stone lying on a hill show absence of motion. We see the motion of several objects every day. Sometimes we cannot see the motion of an object directly, as in the case of a breeze. Can you list other examples of motion besides those given here? Walking man, moving ball, swing, etc. In this chapter, we shall study about motion, distance and displacement, acceleration, Newton's law of motion, and related equations. Think about it. 1. You are traveling in a bus. Is the person sitting next to you in motion? The person sitting next to us is in motion but appears still, that is, appears as if he is not in motion. 2. What do you take into consideration to decide if an object is moving or not? In order to decide if an object is moving or not, its displacement has to be taken into consideration. You have learnt that motion is a relative concept. If the position of an object is changing with respect to its surroundings, then it is said to be in motion. Otherwise, it is said to be at rest. Displacement and distance. Let's try this. 1. Measure the distance between points A and B in different ways as shown in figure 2. Now, measure the distance along the dotted line. Which distance is correct according to you and why? According to me, the correct distance is that measured with dotted line, as straight line gives an exact distance than the curved line. Think about it. A. Sheetal first went to her friend Sangeeta's house on her way to school. B. Prashant went straight from home to school. Both are walking with the same speed. Who will take less time to reach the school and why? Prashant will take less time to reach school as distance to be travelled by Prashant is less than the distance to be travelled by Sheetal. In the above example, is there a difference between the actual distance and the distance travelled? What is it? Yes, there will be a difference between the actual distance and the distance travelled. Actual distance travelled is less than distance travelled. Distance is the length of the actual path travelled by an object in motion while going from one point to another, whereas displacement is the minimum distance between the starting and finishing points. Use your brain power. 1. Every morning, Swarli walks round the edge of a circular field having a radius of 100 meters. If she starts from the point A and takes one round, how much distance has she walked and what is her displacement? Distance travelled by Swarli is 628 meters. But the displacement of Swarli is 0 as she reaches to the same point from where she started. 2. If a car starting from point P goes to point Q, and then returns to point P, how much distance has it travelled and what is its displacement? Distance travelled by car is 720 meters and its displacement is 0. Even if the displacement of an object is 0, the actual distance traversed by it may not be 0. Speed and velocity. Can you recall? What are vectors and scalars? Vectors are physical quantities which have magnitude as well as direction. Scalars are physical quantities which have magnitude only. Which of the quantities distance, speed, velocity, time and displacement are scalars and which are vectors? Distance, time are scalar quantities while speed, velocity, displacement are vector quantities. Speed is equal to total distance travelled upon time required. The distance travelled in a particular direction by an object in unit time is called its velocity. Velocity is equal to displacement upon time. Here, unit time can be 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, etc. If large units are used, 1 year can also be used as a unit of time. The displacement that occurs in unit time is called velocity. Always remember, 1. The units of speed and velocity are the same. In the SI system, the unit is meter per second, while in the CGS system, it is centimeter per second. 2. Speed is related to distance, while velocity is related to the displacement. 3. If the motion is along a straight line, the values of speed and velocity are the same, otherwise they can be different. Velocity is the displacement that occurs in unit time. In the first example, on page 1, the straight line distance between the houses of Sheetal and Sangeeta is 500 meters. And that between Sangeeta's house and school is 1200 meters. Also, the straight line distance between Sheetal's house and school is 1300 meters. Suppose Sheetal takes 5 minutes to reach Sangeeta's house and then 24 minutes to reach school from there. Then Sheetal's speed along path A is equal to distance upon time, which equals 500 meters upon 5 minutes. That is equal to 100 meters per minute. Sheetal's speed along path B is equal to distance upon time. Substituting the values equals 1200 meters upon 24 minutes, which equals 50 meters per minute. Sheetal's average speed is equal to total distance upon total time, which equals 1700 meters upon 29 minutes, which equals 58.6 meters per minute. Sheetal's velocity is equal to displacement upon time, which equals 1300 meters upon 29 minutes. So, Sheetal's velocity is equal to 44.83 meters per minute. Effect of speed and direction on velocity. Sachin is travelling on a motorbike. Explain what will happen in the following events during Sachin's ride. 1. What will be the effect on the velocity of the motorcycle if its speed increases or decreases, but its direction remains unchanged? 2. In case of a turning on the road, will the velocity and speed be same? If Sachin changes the direction of the motorcycle, keeping its speed constant,